Hi, everyone. My name is Brenda Hughes. I live in Osakis, Minnesota. I recently moved here from Western North Dakota. I'd been out there for about 20 years. We had a horse breeding ranch where we raised race horses, barrel horses, rope horses. We stood 5 stallions, and those horses were predominantly marketed to go to the rodeo arena or the show horse arena as either barrel horses, rope horses, and then onto the racetrack also. In that time of breeding horses and training, there's a lot of products that come up to look at, for our horses to make them feel good, keep them feeling good, keep them wanting to work. And I don't say that I'm pessimistic about it, but maybe guarded just because there are so many. But recently I was introduced to a product that when I had taken a fall, and I had some lower back pain shot down into my leg. I had that for about 3-4 months. It was extremely uncomfortable. Hurt to ride my horse, hurt to sleep. Somebody had mentioned that I should be taking this little yellow pill, that it would help me feel better. And the only reason I took it is because I knew they'd ask if I had. And so I did. And I just had remarkable results. Within a very short time, the pain was gone. And I was excited. A few days later, my horse's leg swelled up, and I had heard people had been giving it to horses to help them. I decided to do the same thing, and I had some just amazing results with it, and I was really excited. I just recently had the opportunity to visit with Dr. Lee Seward, a doctor of veterinary medicine. He and his wife, Becky, live near Fort Collins, Colorado. Dr. Lee, if you could maybe fill the folks in here on your background a little bit. You're going to do a much better job than I, but if you would just give us a little background on Protandim NRF2, Protandim Nerf2, and why it might be beneficial to our competition horses, or what your thoughts are on it and your experience with it.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Brenda, for having me join you here today. And I must say, you have such an impressive background. Your success in competition and your success in breeding special animals for competition just blows me away. My wife and I have had horses for a long time, recreational horses. We bred horses, etc. So I really admire people that compete on them, are successful, and are able to breed quality animals. As Brenda said, I am a veterinarian, and after a relatively brief time in practice, I went to join Merck Research Labs. And the reason I did that is that Merck had some new chemistry that when I looked into it, I had the pleasure of working on some field trials with this compound. And when I looked into it, I said, this is an amazing drug that's going to really revolutionize the way we treat our animals and the way they deal with parasitic diseases. So I was fortunate, even though I probably wasn't qualified, I was fortunate to be hired at Merck Research Labs. And after a fairly quick run-in time, I was assigned to work on a couple of projects. That is, I was able to lead the development team that developed what you guys will know as Equilan or Zymectrin paste. That is the ivermectin paste wormers for horses. I also led the team. Also led the team that developed HeartGuard for dogs and a host of other products over the years. About I guess 8 years ago, I'd pretty much retired. We had our farm, we had our horses, etc. So I was keeping busy, and we had some other business adventures. But we were on a plane to San Antonio to go to a family wedding when a young woman sat down next to my wife, and they became fast friends in a few minutes. And on that flight, this woman showed my wife a video. And that video was an ABC primetime investigative report on some work that was being done at the University of Colorado by a professor named Joe McCord. So I watched that video over my wife's shoulder and I said, wow, if that's true, this technology that I was being introduced to was possibly going to change the way we look at human health, but maybe even how we look at animal health. So I did my due diligence. I investigated Joe McCord, found out this guy was an amazing award-winning scientist, investigated the company that had produced this product, LifeVantage, found it was publicly traded, solid company, transparent, all the government oversight that goes with being a public company, and that the technology had peer-reviewed science, unheard of for a plant-based product. That the branded product had actually been tested by a number of people, most of them unrelated to the company, and found that this product reduced what's called oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days in humans. And that the same mechanisms that it worked on in humans was universal across the mammalian spectrum of animals. So I said, told my wife, I said, I think this is another opportunity to work on something that can revolutionize how we look at our health and the health of our animals. And that has turned out to be true. So what this technology does in a product called Protandim from the company called LifeVantage is it activates NRF2 at the cellular level. Very unique mechanism. NRF2 is known to influence our gene expression in a natural way. What I mean is that this is a God-given system that it is in our cells that helps us deal with all the influences that bombard our cells and oxidize, that is, cause the rusting inside our cells. And by activating NRF2, our systems are able to control this oxidative status in our cells and express genes that create a number of enzymes that reduce this oxidative stress. Amazing, amazing. So I said, we really want to be involved with this, and we did. And what we found out that, as you guys all know, when something like this happens in humans, horse people find out about it and they say, well, if this is supposed to work on mammals, my horse is a mammal, let's try it out. So now, while we have millions of people on Protandim across the world, we have certainly tens of thousands of horses, if not millions of horses, on the human product, Protandim. And the results are, as you would expect, by reducing oxidative stress. So Brenda asked me a question about oxidative stress and NRF2. So let me just quickly go into that. Oxidative stress results from a number of things that are natural. That is normal exercise, just the metabolism in our bodies. But it's also increased by outside influences, radiation, like solar radiation, pollutants, herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals. All these things increase the amount of oxidative stress that leads to this oxidation within our cells that interferes with the function of the cells and interferes with the gene expression. It can even cause mutations. So if you can reduce that oxidative stress, which increases with age because these mechanisms pile up, all these influences pile up, and the efficiency of our bodies decrease. So oxidative stress gets to the point where it can't be controlled by that natural system. Many diseases are also influenced by oxidative stress. Practically any disease that you can name in yourself or your horse is influenced negatively by oxidative stress. NRF2 is a protein in the cell. It is released by a number of factors naturally. That is, one of the things is there's a feedback mechanism. When there becomes too much oxidation inside the cell, too many free radicals that cause oxidative stress, that trips the system to release the NRF2. The NRF2 goes to our genome and causes the expression of a series of genes known as the survival genes. The survival genes create a number of enzymes, superoxide dismutase, glutathione, for example. And these enzymes are able to control these free radicals that cause oxidative stress, these oxidation particles. The free radicals are reduced by these enzymes. Superoxide dismutase, for example, can eliminate 1 million free radicals per second every second. Think of the magnitude of how that can reduce oxidative stress. Whereas when you look at something like a normal antioxidant, like vitamin C, it takes one molecule of vitamin C to reduce one free radical. So these natural systems are extremely more powerful than taking exogenous vitamins. But the fact that they decline with age or under certain disease conditions means it sure would be nice to have something that could increase the release of NRF2 and reduce oxidative stress. And Dr. McCord created that in his lab at the University of Colorado, and it's now called Protandim. There are some, I think at last count, there's 28 peer-reviewed scientific papers on the National Institute of Health library website, pubmed.gov, on work done with the branded product, not ingredients, the actual product that you can give to your horse or take yourself in peer-reviewed science. If we look at oxidative stress and see how important it is, if you go to another scientific search engine that covers animal health better than the National Institute of Health does, you'll find there's some, I think at last count I found there was close to 50,000 papers talking about oxidative stress in horses and how important it is. And the one paper I saw recently showed that oxidative stress was lower in good performing animals than it was in animals that didn't perform as well. In other words, performance is related in some way to oxidative stress. The animals feel better, they're generally in better health, and they just perform better. I thought that was a powerful, powerful statement.
That is so powerful. And that was one of the questions I had for you too. You know, where the background I come from with performance horses, the oxidative stress, is that something that would build up faster or more in an athlete, something that's being worked? Or
Great question. Great question, Brenda. Exactly right. The speed up of metabolism and the activities involved in competition and performing animals greatly increases oxidative stress. And that's been demonstrated time and time again. So yes, very much so, oxidative stress increases in those animals. And if you can reduce it, like by activating NRF2, you can improve the efficiency of the cellular performance, and you can also improve the recovery from exercise and that sort of thing.
that is so interesting. That's so great to know too. So, you know, all the things that we're doing to enhance our horse's performance, the training and the different things are actually not beneficial to the actual health of the horse at a cellular genome level, whereas this is something that can help with relieving that and bring about the horse's true ability, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So when a horse is feeling going to perform better, and that is so interesting. It makes so much sense and answers a lot of the questions that I have had.
Yeah, and I think generally speaking, with horses that are under a lot of competitive stress, a lot of physical stress, you know, you can see with reducing oxidative stress, you can see improvements in behavior. They're calmer. You can see improvements in mobility. So you bet, the general improvement in health that you get from reducing oxidative stress is something that really greatly benefits the well-being of the horse. You bet.
I could just see so many opportunities for people too, for using something like this, bringing this even into their, bringing this into their breeding sheds. If a horse is feeling better and everything is functioning the way it should, I mean, it really just makes sense that it's going to be a huge benefit to people.
You bet.
To their horses.
We've seen it in our own horses, and we've seen it in ourselves. I'm 75 years old. I'm still skiing and I'm still climbing 14,000 foot peaks here in Colorado. That's not a brag. I'm very humbled by the fact that I'm still able to do that. And that certainly feel better than I did 10 years ago before I was exposed and started taking.
Well, there's definitely, a person can sure see the significant advantages of doing something like this. Like I said, I just had such great results with it, and I was so excited about it, and the opportunity to get to visit with you about it, who have, been out in the world and done the studies and know about the peer-reviewed studies. I just really appreciate your time taking with us here. Is there anything else that
no
you
problem.
might mention?
I'm glad to speak with you. I admire all that you've done. As I said, the product we have is originally developed for humans. It wasn't ever developed for horses specifically, but you guys in the horse world know you have a lot of products that you have taken from the human side. And one of the concerns might be safety, for example. Protandim is a product that's based on 5 plants. It's a plant-based product. As such, it is viewed by the regulatory agencies as safe. These individual ingredient plants have been widely used throughout history, particularly in Asian medicine and in Asian health for hundreds, if not thousands of years at much higher levels than is in Protandim. And in fact, that's one of the geniuses of the product, is that Dr. McCord, in trying to develop a product that would actually activate NRF2, actually cause the NRF2 protein to be released and grow through that series that I talked about of activating the genome, the survival genes, found 5 ingredients after testing a wide variety of plants, found 5 ingredients, herbal ingredients, that when combined at relatively low levels, increase their activity in releasing the NRF2 protein 1,800%. So extremely over what he would expect from the individual ingredients. So it's very, very effective in releasing the NRF2, and something that results in this tremendous benefit. And it's performing in a natural way. It's performing in a way that the system is built to perform.
I just love the fact that it's a plant-based product too. There's so many things out there that are synthetic and that we're putting in our horses' bodies where this wouldn't have the negative side effects.
Yeah, and I think, I'm really was reassured when I found that the product was actually tested as the branded product in humans and in dogs. There is also a dog formulation, and those products, that's rare. It's rare in this industry. It's rare for supplements to be tested as they actually are in blinded and controlled conditions, and have peer-reviewed studies on their results. Most of these products are based on ingredient-based studies that have no relationship to the actual product.
One last question, Dr. Seward. How would you dose it? How much would you give a horse, say 1,000-pound horse, that is in competition or athletic training?
Sure. Well, again, there's no dose. All we can talk about is what people are finding. And I think
Okay.
you'll understand from what I've been saying that, we're not making any claims for the treatment of any disease or condition, prevention or of any disease or condition, or that has any diagnostic benefit. But what people have found in the improvements in the health of their animals, they have seen in horses, usually with one of the tablets, up to 3. So in that range of 1 to 3, they will see noticeable benefits, reduction in the stress behavior of the animal, and improvements in the overall health of the animal, as we've discussed. So you may, in some states, some conditions, you might want to go higher to see the benefit you're looking for, and then drop back down. It's kind of empirical dosing because we don't have any, controlled study. But it's people's experience. This is the experience of the thousands of people that are using it in their horses.
The horse that I have is she's 16.1 and weighs about 1,200 pounds. And I was just giving her 1 tablet. I had no idea it was just kind of trial on my part. And it was a very short time. Within 2 weeks, I was back in competitions from having a horse that was standing 3-legged. So that was one pill. So it was impressed me.
You bet. Yeah. We have 2 horses still that we have, recreational horses, and one we have on 1 a day. The other one we have on 3 a day.
Okay. Well, Dr. Seward, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day, busy schedule, and answer a few questions for us and give us a little more understanding about that little yellow pill, Protandim Nerf 2. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Good to be with you, Brenda.
Good to be with you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.